Got time to go over what still needs to be done?
Alright, go on then.
Looks like we've taken care of the biggest threats to the Berserkers.
And we owe you a debt for that. Thank you.
It means we can deal with our other problems.
Then prepare for the big battle in Marikor. The Skyans will soon mobilize their forces in Marikor. We must prevent them from invading the territories of the Free People. Watch out!
Commander, Dawkins detected near Deltara Former.
Damn it! We're too late! The Skyans already got him. I don't know what they've got planned for him in Deltara, but whatever it is, it won't be good for us.
Immediate intervention recommended. Risk of compromise 98.6%.
Yeah, you're right. We gotta drag Dawkins out of there before the Skyans squeeze everything out of him.
Acknowledged.
All that's left is shit and rubble.
You there. Hold on a second.
What is it?
You look like you get around a bit. Seen a lot of Magellan?
Maybe. What's it to you?
Listen, you ever wondered why everyone in Magellan uses the same currency?
Well, now I'm wondering.
Hear me out. It's every man for himself out there, right? Everyone's arguing about something or other. Territory or ideologies or haircuts. Something. No one gives a rat's ass about anyone else, right? But despite all that, everyone's using ELEX. It has the same value everywhere. If you want to make friends quickly, just bring a pile of ELEX, and suddenly everyone's treating you like their long-lost brother. You know I'm right, so why is that the case,
If there wasn't a glue to hold society together, the world would descend into chaos.
Well, that's true, but why ELEX specifically? If you like, I can hone in on my core theory.
Sure, why don't you do that?
I have an idea how we could solve all of our financial and structural problems in one go. Just like that. Nobody would go hungry again. The petty feuds over territory and resources would be consigned to history.
I call bullshit. How would this miracle cure work?
Look, it's not a magic pill. What I'm talking about is a centrally controlled capital management system that would satisfy every need. No one would have more money than they knew what to do with, and nobody would be so poor that they have to feed themselves to the wolves for a slice of bread.
So you want to open a bank?
That's a simplification, but yes, in essence, without all the usual shortcomings, though. I call my superlative concept the Capital Temple.
Right. Good for you.
An incomparable system of asset management and regulation for holdings of Magellan's citizens. With this concept, we could earn enough that we'd be able to wind down all other business ventures, and all free of controversy. Nobody would feel like they'd been exploited. I'd be happy to tell you more. But first, I need to know if you wish to invest in such a brilliant initiative. Otherwise, it would be unwise for me to reveal all the ingenious details. You understand?
You know what you deserve? A couple of punches to the face. Don't touch my Elexit.
Listen, I understand your skepticism, but I can assure you this will prove to be very profitable for you. You'll be coming in on the ground floor, so to speak. Of course, this significantly increases your net profits. The longer you delay, the less capital you'll be able to accumulate using my system. The Capital Temple will make us both very rich. It's a certainty. Trust me. I've tested it many times, and it always works. The only thing I'm sadly lacking is enough Elexit to set the wheels in motion. So what do you say? Are you interested in the opportunity of a lifetime?
What'd you do before this?
I'm a cleric, as you can probably tell. That alone should be enough to convince you that my intentions are pure.
I wasn't born yesterday, pal. You wouldn't be the first cleric to set up a little scam. But you didn't answer my question.
I used to spend a lot of time in the Hort, using my expertise in property accumulation to enrich our community. Recently, however, my services haven't been required to the same extent.
So what you're saying is they kicked you out?
Well, I wouldn't put it quite like that. But it is a sad truth that a prophet cannot find respect in his own country. The others have no appreciation for the beautiful art of increasing holdings.
Especially not if you put it above the well-being of the faction, right?
That's a matter of perspective.
Look, buddy, I don't believe a single word that's come out of your mouth. Forget it.
Fine. Well, you don't need to decide right away anyway. Think it over, but like I said, the earlier you commit, the better your return will be. Anyway, I'll see you around. Take care of your shards.
Sure, why not?
So, have you made the wise decision to invest? You have to trust my business acumen. My capital temple concept will make you very rich. The earlier you get involved, the better. So, how many shards can I put you down for?
Would 100 be enough?
That's a small capital investment, but if that's all you can afford, I'll take what I can. Your faith in me is much appreciated. Rest assured, I'll take good care of your investment.
So, what happens now?
Oh, well, this is the exciting part. Your Elexit will work for you in the background. Give me a week to get everything up and running.
A week? You expect me to wait a whole week with no return?
I'm afraid you must, my friend. That is how the Capital Temple works. Accumulation takes time. But don't worry, it'll pay off in the long run. So, if there's nothing else...
If you just burn through my money, I swear I'm gonna...
Calm down. It's all under control. Your Alexit's as safe with me as if it were in a... safe. Come back in a few days. I'll tell you more then. In the meantime, I wish you good fortune.
Sure, why not, I guess. Fun in store here.
Finally. I thought I'd never find you.
Jax, you're here. You came to save my life?
Actually, I still don't know what I'm gonna do with you. Should I ram my gun down your throat now or after you explain things?
I see. I take it you've spoken to the Skyans.
Did you really think you'd keep your story secret forever?
No, but I hoped I'd get the chance to explain everything to you before the invaders did.
You've had plenty of chances. If things hadn't turned out this way, you probably would have taken the secret to your grave.
Maybe you're right, but perhaps we should get out of here before...
You're not going anywhere. Not until you tell me everything you've done. To me, to humanity.
Well, seems I don't have much choice. All right, let's talk about it if we must.
When did you find out about the comet heading for Magellan? Was it before or after you started planning to live forever?
The comet wasn't the beginning. I first sighted it 5 years before it crashed here. But even before that, years before, when I was still a young man, I observed a much more significant phenomenon in the sky.
Singularity.
All my research, all the observations, all the calculations, they all told me this was an incredible discovery. It was the answer to all the questions humanity had ever asked, and more. Much more than that. But I didn't have the resources then to fathom its true nature. Then, years later, when the Infinite Skies Corporation was founded, I had my chance. Unlimited resources. Everything I needed. And still, I couldn't really comprehend what I was seeing. It seemed to turn all the laws of physics, all the laws of nature, on their head. The results of my research and the lessons I learned from the Singularity's behavior brought me fame and the recognition of my colleagues. But even when many of them tried to denounce me, I continued my research, though I soon reached the limits of what I could learn.
How did you create ELEX?
I didn't. It was there all along, in the Singularity itself. ELEX is a part of it. It just needed to be modified and adapted to humans. I was getting old then, increasingly aware of my mortality. I realized I would never reap the rewards of my work if I didn't...
Find a way to live forever.
Yes. Even there, the singularity helped me set the wheels in motion. But I couldn't do it down here on Magellan. I had to go up, to the singularity itself. It was the only place with the right conditions. But the journey would have taken far too long. I needed a faster way. A technology you've seen for yourself. It's been a feature of the skies for years, ever since the war against the Alps.
You mean the strange ring the hybrid created?
Correct. An artificial wormhole. A bridge from this world to another. I sent a group of scientists through it. They came back more than 160 years later as highly developed, immortal beings.
Why didn't you go yourself? Why leave it to others?
Because of the comet. This rock, this tremendous destructive force on a collision course with our world. I was afraid if I went with them, we'd return to a planet reduced to rubble and dust.
And that's exactly what happened. You didn't stop it. Whether you were here or on the other side of the galaxy.
It wasn't a question of whether it would hit Magellan. The question was whether humanity would survive.
You could have saved the planet. You could have changed the comet's course with your spacecraft.
I tried. I was the one who started projects like Cassandra and Callahan. But when panic breaks out, well, few people are willing to pull together for a common cause.
How did the first ELEX get into the comet?
My Cassandra scientists had to hurry once they reached the singularity. They quickly had their first success. They sent Blue ELEX back to us on a carrier rocket. But soon after launch, it became clear it would never reach Magellan. A fatal miscalculation they could do nothing to correct. But the rocket could reach the comet that was fast approaching the planet. So they steered it onto its path, and soon, the ELEX was here, and my work could begin.
Your work to prolong your miserable life at the expense of millions of other lives.
Yes, a tragedy, I admit.
How did you manage to smuggle all those scientists aboard Cassandra without anyone realizing it?
At first, nobody knew anything about the comet or any spacecraft. Of course, once things were in the open, I was forced to share my research with everyone. Research that might save a lot of lives, maybe all of them. But Cassandra was to be my project. I kept it secret to make sure it didn't suffer the same fate as Callahan. All people did was argue, blaming mistakes on each other. I couldn't allow that to happen with Cassandra. So
you got rid of anyone who could have talked about it, right?
it was a dark time. Not one I'm proud of.
Your scientists, or whatever they are now, spoke of the singularity as if it were a god.
Isn't it? It contains secrets that no one, not even I, could ever discover. Not in 1,000 lifetimes of research. It gives eternal life. It creates new life forms from nothing. It decides whether we all live or die.
Principal Teac says it's moving towards us. It could hit us at any moment. And from what you're telling me, this is nothing like a simple comet. This will destroy us all.
So what is it, if not pure divinity?
Stop fucking with me. How do we stop it, genius?
The Skyans have been set on their path from the very beginning. It's this plan that drives them. It's their reason for being. The reason anyone who gets in its way is destroyed.
Oh yeah? So what is this plan?
All in good time, Jax. We need to survive this war before we can move on to the next one.
What about the DNA replication? Why did you share your genes with me?
I've been trying to prepare the planet for the arrival of the Skyans for years. That's what the Albs and their directive were for. And for a while it was working. But once the Albs set up the first converter in the lands of the Free People, the tide turned. The hybrid, that thing I was a part of once, sensed resistance among the Albs. There were a lot of skeptics and even saboteurs, especially among the technicians. The foundation of a hostile group, the Separatists, became inevitable. But there you were, a highly effective and confident commander. Even then, your willpower was a thing to behold. I replicated my own DNA with that of the owl with the greatest mental strength I could find to protect myself and my legacy. It was a backup, if you will. Being in the hybrid capsule prevented me from doing anything as mundane as procreating.
That explains your interest in my son. But you won't be going near him again. I'll make sure of that.
After the replication, your willpower became even stronger. You were the only one who could resist being promoted to Elexeter. Even implanting a control chip in your head had little effect. That's one reason I chose you to establish and lead the Sixth Power. If anyone can stop the Skyans, it's you.
Where does this great willpower come from? What did you do to me that even the Skyants don't understand?
The gifts to exercise great power over ELEX are rooted in the configuration and harmonies of an individual's DNA. And willpower is one of these gifts. There are others, such as superhuman creativity or imagination, or superhuman strategic and mathematical problem-solving. You and I are not just the humanoid anomalies the Skyans would have us believe. We are ELEX elementals, my friend. Our gifts give us the power to shape both ourselves and the fate of the world.
Why the Sixth Power? Why so much effort?
Because the Skyans want to level the planet, and I no longer have the power to stop them. I'm not one of them anymore. I'm their enemy.
Who can blame them for wanting you dead? All these elaborate schemes, all that effort, for such a long time.
Well, that's the price of eternal life. And I'm paying it now.
And so is everyone else, you bastard. You're nothing but a murderer.
Maybe. But the Skyanids are far worse. Just think of the sheer scale of what they're doing.
What about what we did in those converters? Squealix out of people.
What is it you want, Jax? Justice? World peace? What's that compared to standing before God and being granted eternal life?
You've done nothing but lie and manipulate me. Well, I'm done. The super soldier you bred to serve you quits right here and now.
There's no need for us to be at odds, Jax.
Of course there is. It's the only way I'll ever be free.
Fine, if that's the way you want it. Just don't expect me to give up without a fight. If I win, I promise to honor your legacy. Your work will not have been in vain.
Enough talking. Let's end this now.
As you wish. Shit!
Damn it. That son of a bitch. Doesn't matter. I need to keep going. Otherwise, there'll be nothing left to fight for. Weird.
This place seems pretty awesome to me.